to Newsfirst, Prime Time Sunrise.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's the 12th of March 2014. This is Primetime Sunrise coming to live on MTV Sports. I'm Shahan Jarangpati. Let's start off with a look at your headlines this morning. The President reiterates the need for utmost caution in the use of internet to ensure privacy of the citizens. Woman who forged visa documents for job employment to 6 Indian nationals arrested. CIA says terrorism cannot be ruled out in missing Malaysia Airlines plane. Now for a look at the stories in detail. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that when using technology, it is essential to ensure privacy of the citizens, safeguard children from its harmful effects, and ensure that its possibilities to harm social progress are contained. Now, the President made this observation while issuing a special message in view of the 25th anniversary of the launching of the Internet. In his release, the President says that Sri Lanka has fully accepted the advances of the Internet and is dedicated to ensuring its widest reach in the country to benefit all sections of society. The release adds that the government's moves to expand Internet connectivity with the rapid availability of broadband throughout the country is a fine example of the above. The President points out that the Nanasala program with 750 island-wide outlets a day is an ICT-based e-Sri Lanka development activity taking modern connectivity to the rural sector. President Rajapaksa in his release further notes that he is pleased at the progress Sri Lanka has already made in accepting this revolution in communications for the benefit of the society. The Election Secretariat says that the sealed packets of ballot papers have been directed to the relevant officials ahead of the postal voting of the upcoming Western and Southern Provincial Council polls. Deputy Elections Commissioner M. Mohammed said that observers attached to the Election Secretariat would be stationed at areas with high voter density. He further noted that postal voting will be held tomorrow and on Friday. Deputy Elections Commissioner M. Mohammed said that those unable to cast their postal votes on these 2 days will be able to cast their votes in the future.
The postal voters who have already received their postal vote packets will cast their vote on 13th and 14th of March in their service station in front of their certifying officers, polling agents from contesting parties and independent groups, and if any officer from the elections department appointed as supervisor for this procedure. The nearly 112,000 voters have been already received their packet all over the island to cast their postal vote. Regarding the postal voters who are working in Colombo district, unused postal vote packets will be sent to the election secretariat at Rajagriha. These all postal voters can cast their vote on 28th of March 2014 in the relevant office in which the postal vote will be kept under tight security and tight security in the safe.
Now, according to the police, 80% of suicide victims are men. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona explains further.
So in comparison to the rate in respect of suicide, 80% of males have committed suicide, and for female it is 20%. In addition to that, the main reason for the suicidal cases are the family dispute, and in addition to that, some incurable diseases. So approximately 3,500 suicide cases have been reported annually in Sri Lanka.
Now to tell us why an individual attempts to commit suicide, we have psychologist Professor Jnanadasa Pereira of the University of Sri Jawardhanapura joining us live via phone. Very good morning to you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, could you tell us, now there were many incidents of suicide in the recent past. Can you explain to us briefly the reasons behind this increase and what we as a public can do to prevent this increasing number?
Yes. Suicide rates was increasing past few months in Sri Lanka, especially teenagers. Overall, medical factors, psychological factors, psychosocial factors are reason of this situation. It is easily conceivable. The reason is that situation, use of cellular phone, Facebook, family problems, etc. It was increasing from 1989 to 2000, and it was decreasing from 2012 to 2013. But now it is increasing from January of this year again. Prevent it, psychotherapy and counseling services should be expanded, and life management should be included to the whole education system.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Jnanadas Pereira, for joining us on Primetime Sunrise. Hope you have a pleasant day ahead of you. Meanwhile, discussions pertaining to the Indo-Lanka fisheries issue will commence in Colombo tomorrow. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources said that 17 Indian representatives of the fishing community and 8 Indian officials who are due to participate in the talks will arrive in the island today.
17 Sri Lankan fishermen representing the Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mana, Mullaitivu, Trincomalee, Puttalam districts as well as the southern province and 8 Sri Lankan officials will also participate. The Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources said that talks would be held on the violations of the agreement made in the last round of talks by the Indian fishermen, noting that 8 violations of the agreement were made. The ministry further noted that 39 Indian crafts and 172 fishermen who violated the Sri Lankan maritime boundary have been taken into custody. Meanwhile, 26 Sri Lankan fishermen are currently in Indian custody.
Well, also making headlines this morning, woman who forged visa documents for job employment to 6 Indian nationals in the country has been arrested.
According to the police, the 6 Indian nationals were arrested in connection to the incident at the Katunayaka airport recently. The woman who forged visa documents was arrested by the Colombo Fraud Bureau after the 6 Indian nationals were interrogated. The police said that the female suspect had forged visa documents for the Indian nationals to be employed at a factory in Sri Lanka. The Colombo Fraud Bureau is conducting further investigations into the incident.
Meanwhile, Minister Vimal Veeravangsa expressed his views on the port city that is being constructed close to the Colombo harbour at a function held yesterday. The event was held to hand over the multitasking building of the Ratna Junior School to its students. The biggest investment in the recent past is the building of the port city near the Colombo harbour. When there is a city close to the harbour, the foreigners who arrive in the ships can eat, drink and stay in that city. They spend their money here. Part of the money they spend comes to our country. Only a part of it comes. So is it bad to build a city on the ocean if we could get their money into our country? Those who spoke of taking over paddy fields for various purposes now say building a city on the ocean is the worst crime ever. This is not done with the money of the country. It is the money of investors. We don't use public tax money for this purpose. And with that, we wrap up today's edition of Primetime Sunrise. As always, it's a pleasure having you with us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Shahan Jaramfati.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.